Get 25% off a subscription to Babbel by clicking the link below. Babbel is an awesome language learning app. They're one of our sponsors. I use Babbel to improve my Italian, and I'm loving the results. I'd recommend Babbel to anyone. Go check it out. Okay, let's get into audience questions for the week. Very timely one. Hey, David, even if the Joe Biden's conspiracy isn't literally true, as Republicans say, isn't it still extraordinarily corrupt that Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is working for a Ukrainian gas company and getting paid $50,000 a month? So, yes, I mean, here's what you have to distinguish. And this is I'm going to take the question as being a good faith question, because I do see a lot of bad faith right wing actors saying the real corruption is Biden's son. And then I also see some good faith left-wing actors saying, wait a second, I am reading that it is corrupt what was going on with Joe Biden and Hunter Biden in Ukraine. So here's the deal. We have a system that is a system built on the status quo, revolving door, business, politics, lobbying, cronyism, consultancy. That's the system that we have. And in this system, you have kingmakers in politics and lobbyists and elected officials and campaign consultants and all of these faux, bogus consultancy positions that are made available to connected people, not because of their knowledge or skills, but because of their connections. Like, that exists and that's a thing. So I'll give you an example. Paul Ryan, the former Republican Speaker of the House, as I mentioned earlier this week, is now on the board of Fox News. What does Paul Ryan really know about being on the board of a media company? Well, you could say, well, he did deal with the FCC as a member of Congress or this or that or whatever the other thing. But this is just an example of what we are talking about. It is the revolving door of people between politics and industry and all of that sort of stuff. So when you see Joe Biden having a son, Hunter Biden, who's getting paid reportedly 50 grand a month to be an advisor or whatever to this Ukrainian gas company, it is absolutely an example of the money buys you, money and connections get you connections and money status quo that we have. It is an example of that. It is not any particularly acute instance of what Joe Biden is being accused of, which should change the focus of the entire story from what Donald Trump did in withholding hundreds of millions of dollars in aid in exchange for Ukraine agreeing to smear Joe Biden. That should be the focus. The suppression of the whistleblower should be the focus. So there's that angle. It's also particularly hypocritical for Trump to be the one calling it out, because Trump is the king of these types of cronyistic, corrupt instances. So do I have a problem with what it is that Hunter Biden was doing? Yes, in the same way that hundreds and hundreds of relatives, friends, former politicians, et cetera, are in these positions because that's how our system is built. It is endemic corruption and cronyism, and it needs to be changed at the systemic level. But the specific conspiracy that is being built around Joe Biden and Joe Biden saying, Hunter's in trouble because this company's being investigated. Let me get out there and start making some threats over bank guarantees. It's not the way it went down. It's been widely debunked, and it's just not anything that the facts can defend. And that's why we need to be particularly careful about. There's an immediate, Republicans don't care about this revolving door status quo of lobbyists and politicians and family members and all of this stuff. They love it. Okay. And for them to now say, oh, the real problem is that the son of a vice president was making a bunch of money as a consultant here, and then Joe Biden went out to save his ass. They don't really care about this as an issue, and they're only using this hypocritically, I might add, to distract from the real chaos, the real story, which is Trump's suppression of the whistleblower and the demand that Donald Trump made on Ukraine. So, yeah, we'll talk about it in the sense that we talk about the whole system as it works. But the acute story here is the one related to Donald Trump's actions.